Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Now let's talk about the topic at hand, which is these night streams that have been going on recently. Okay? So here's the deal. I've noticed a pattern. And directly based on your feedback, all right, I'm now understanding this pattern more. And I want to thank everyone for the feedback they gave me. Allow me to explain. Okay? So, I've noticed over the last couple of weeks that my late night streams, which start at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, particularly when the late night stream is a game that I have to put a lot of attention into. So if I'm playing competitive Street Fighter, or if I'm playing Call of Duty, and I have to be super hyper focused on the match to survive and get kill streaks and everything, you know, I can't just be sitting here and watching the chat and talking with you guys and having fun interaction. Instead, it's about this. It's about, oh my God, we got to focus, right? In those situations that have been happening, I've noticed two distinct things that are going on, okay? Distinct thing number one is that viewership actually spikes, but it spikes for the wrong reasons, okay? If viewership spiked because people were coming onto the stream because they were excited, oh my God, Phil's doing a competitive multiplayer game and we like him, seeing him play those and whatever, that's one thing. But what I'm noticing is it's not that. Sadly, it is a negative element as opposed to a positive element. What does that mean? Well, if you see me playing a competitive game, there's a chance that I likely will be losing. And if I lose and get upset, people like to see me rage. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with seeing me rage. Okay, that's fine. If you enjoy it, good. Come to the streams. But sadly, going hand in hand with that attention spike that I get when I play those games on late night streams comes a lot of annoyance and trolling in the chat. Essentially, what people have been telling me, all right, is sadly, they come to the chat, they want to see me play this game. They want to see me play Street Fighter. They want to see me try the Call of Duty beta. And what happens is there's 20 new accounts in the chat they've never seen before, right? They've all been created within the last week, so funny how that's just a coincidence. And they're all just sitting there being toxic jerks, right? They're all just sitting there saying, oh, you see, Phil sucks at this and that, haha. You know, like, I'll be playing Street Fighter, and I'll be playing a match, and a person will literally be doing just basic stuff, and I can't react. Like, man, the game is laggy. I just can't do a move. And then they'll say, haha, no, Phil just sucks. See, that's an amazing player, and they're spanking Phil, and he just can't take it. And, you know, who wants to see that? It's like a 4-year-old on a schoolyard teasing someone in the corner, right? And it's like, no one wants to fucking put up with that shit, especially anyone who's an actual positive viewer. No one wants to see or hear that nonsense, right? And then there's people that'll come and they'll start insulting other people. They'll start trying to bring up drama. Like, for example, let's say I'll notice someone's being toxic, so I'll ban them, and then I'll go back to playing, and then all of a sudden, oh, why'd he get banned? Who banned him? What's going on? Banning. Oh, it's too censored here. Yeah, and this is what the whole chat becomes, all right? Now, truthfully, it's hard for me to recognize this and focus on it, because I'm playing the game. When I'm playing the game, that's my focus. So I have to be paying attention. If I'm not paying attention to a competitive game, why am I playing it? I might as well not even play at all. I'm trying to win. But when I'm focused on that, I'm not able to focus as much on the stream, and therefore sometimes it gets out of control. Sorry, I just had to open the window because it's getting too stuffy in here. Now I have to keep opening and closing it during the podcast. There's nothing I can do, right? So, here's the thing. I acknowledge what you're saying. I agree with you, and I apologize. I have to come out and say, you're right. This is absolutely happening on these late night multiplayer streams. This is a concerted effort from people who don't like me to try to come by and purposefully derail my streams. They've noticed that on those late night streams, unlike, let's say, a stream of Starfield, right? Because if I'm playing Starfield and I'm just chilling and relaxing, and it's a narrative-based game, I have tons of opportunity to look at the chat and talk with you guys and have fun and take care of that nonsense. I mean, people tried doing that during my Chrono Trigger playthrough, and they got smacked the fuck off the stream and never came back. And the same thing, I'm playing Starfield, I can pay attention, and I can take care of that shit, right? But I can't pay attention to it all when I'm playing multiplayer games, all right? Now, you might say, well, it sounds like the issue is moderation. Okay? Well, I agree with you again. Because here's the truth. Street Fighter 6, if you remember, I was playing as daytime streams for the longest time over the summer. Did we have that problem during the summertime? Nope. You want to know why we didn't have that problem? Because typically on the daytime streams, there's more moderation. You'll see 1 or 2 mods will swing by. They'll help out for an hour or 2 at a time. They'll shut that nonsense down. And so the daytime streams are usually under control. It's not a big deal. It's usually these night streams where it becomes an issue, correct? Now, you might say, well, Phil, why don't you just have more moderators? What's going on with that? Well, let's talk. Let's be transparent about it, all right? I used to have way more moderators. I did. I used to have a team of around 15 to 20 moderators at one point. And at that point, everyone complained there were too many mods, and it was over moderation, and people didn't like it. They actually got upset. There was too much moderation. So at one point, I actually advised everyone, let's cut back on moderation. Let's make the chats a little bit more free, a little bit more open. Let's give people more of an opportunity to talk more. And if people are razzing me and doing memeing, it's fine. Let me be the ultimate person to determine what's allowed and what's not. Okay? And during this time period, and this is years ago too, by the way. This is like maybe 2 years ago, roughly, 2-3 years ago. When I decided to be more lenient with moderation, essentially what happened is some moderators fell out of interest of being moderators. And we had a few people who left. They said, I'm just too busy. I'm not going to do it anymore. A lot of moderators stopped coming to streams more regularly because they realized they weren't really needed as much. So since it wasn't as big of a concern, right, they stopped really caring as much. And let's be honest, take a look. Really right now, take a look at the chat. Is it bad? No, it's fine, right? Most of my streams are good. It's just these trolls have definitely focused in on the late night multiplayer sessions as the ones that they've realized they can try to ruin. Okay? They know that now. Like, they have hyper focused on those streams. Okay? Now, here's the other half of why this is a bad thing. If you're coming to a stream to watch me play a multiplayer game, right? And you want to see if I'm going to do well or not. And even if I don't do well, that's fine, as long as there's some moral support or whatever. But all you're seeing in the chat is toxic shit. Phil sucks ass. And this fucking person's doing this and that, and this one's a troll, that one's a troll, this is a troll. And like, who the hell wants to stick around for that? And so some of the feedback I received in the last 24 hours, when I asked you guys, I said this last night. I said, I've noticed in this last week, the Modern Warfare 3 beta stream and the Street Fighter stream I did last night with Lily, pretty much we had high viewership, but lots of trolling and incredibly low support. Like, for a stream that has 500 viewers on a late stream, how did I make $10 all night? And this has happened twice this week. And you know what? I got really good feedback. And here's the feedback I got. And I got this feedback from multiple regulars. We don't want to come to your late night multiplayer streams anymore. We've tried it, and at first it was fun, but what's happened is the trolls are targeting them now. And when we go there, we can't have fun. It's just a bunch of shitty assholes coming and crapping all over everything, and it's not a positive, fun environment to be in. Instead, you try to play the game, and sometimes you fail, and you get upset, and then when you go back to the chat, all you see is trolling, and it pisses you off, and it just makes it a toxic environment, and we don't want to be there. So, yeah, that's the feedback I'm getting, is the regulars are actually telling me, we don't want to come to your late night multiplayer streams anymore. We used to like them, but now there's not enough moderation, so the trolls are not under control. And because the trolls aren't under control, they derail the stream when you're playing. It just exacerbates the situation, makes it worse. So you don't have a good time, we don't have a good time, and therefore we're not going to be there to support it, and that's what's going on. That's exactly the feedback I received, and I was shocked by a few people who actually sent me that message, because I was like, I didn't think of it that way. And when they said that, okay, I guess that does make sense, all right? So, the question is, what do we do to remedy the situation? And by the way, I want to say this. I take responsibility. I do. I'm the person who runs this stream. No one else does. I'm the one who ultimately turns on this stream, determines what games are played on each stream. I run the streams, okay? I should have been listening to your feedback more attentively, and I should have asked this question earlier, and I didn't. You know, to my philosophy was, just ignore the trolls. Just ignore the trolls. Just ignore the trolls. Well, you may have noticed now maybe some of you are actually starting to understand what I've been saying over the years. You can't just ignore the trolls, because even as much as you try to pretend they're not there, they can still be intrusive to life, to stream, to whatever it is. They can still be intrusive. As much as you do, they don't exist to me. They don't matter. They still can find a way to negatively affect stuff. And this is a case in point. I didn't want to really acknowledge them or pay attention to them or talk about them. These streams I've just let roll. And now what's happened is increasingly less moderation, more trolls. Regulars don't even want to attend them anymore. And now I get no support on them, even though I'm having a good time. That Modern Warfare 3 stream the other night, I had a blast. That felt like a blast from the past. I was playing on classic maps from a game from like 14 years ago, and I remember these maps, and now they're very different. They've tweaked them. But still, it felt like a throwback for me. And I had a crazy kill streak. I got Juggernaut, and I was running through the map squishing people. It was fun as shit. And then to find out, wow, trolls just invaded, and people weren't enjoying it in the chat, and that's why I had no support that night. That's telling. You know what I'm saying? So, there's basically a few ways to go about this. Okay? And I guess the question is, what's the best option? Because I want to talk with my audience about this before I make any decisions. Okay? Really? So, here's a few things that can be done, right? Number one, I can try to get more moderators. All right? Now, that's a tough one. Why? Because it's hard to trust people these days. It is. A lot of these people literally sit in chat and pretend to be positive elements just to find out later on they're catfishing. That happened twice to me so far, all right, over the years, where there's someone who sits in chat for a whole freaking year on an account and pretends to be a person that they're really not. They've invented an entire persona up. They made it up. It's completely fabricated. And so they sit here and they pretend to be a positive element, and then they'll say, hey, I offer my services. I'd like to help you out as a moderator. All right, we'll give you a chance. So we give them a chance as a moderator, right? And they seem to be doing a good job, right? And the next thing you know, 6 to 8 months into them being a moderator, all of a sudden one day, they're doing awful things. They're banning a ton of people in the chat for no good reason. They're saying awful things, you know. Oh my God, I leaked secret moderator conversations, which is hilarious. All they do is they'll leak like a chat between my moderators about nothing, about like daily life, about, you know, how to moderate the chat. It's basic stuff, nothing controversial, absolutely nothing secret behind the scenes. Oh, look, I leaked the secret discussion server. What are you talking about? There's nothing on there of any consequence to anyone. None of it is important. We're not sitting there all day discussing clandestine plans about my streams and content. I don't talk about my deep personal life and stuff on there. What are you talking about? They're just idiots. You see what I'm saying? Like, they fabricate as much as they can to make it act like there's drama. There's no drama. They make up drama, you see? But just think about that. Someone who would sit around for a year on a stream pretending to be someone else, actively chatting, acting positive, just to find out it's someone else. This has happened with Marl. This has happened with Plumgorl. This has actually happened with 2 other accounts as well, although they weren't really pretending to be someone else. They were just pretending to be nice. What was it? Anonymous? And then there was another one too, and I actually forgot their fucking name. That's how much I really care about them, right? I don't really think about these people. So this has happened tons of times over the years, right? And so, when you think about this, and you're like, so, if people are willing to go that far to fake it, you know what I'm saying? Who do you trust? I don't know. Right now, I can tell you I trust every moderator I have. I do, because I only have a few left. There's only like maybe 6, 7 moderators that I have, and they don't come by full time at all. Every once in a while, they'll swing by and they'll help moderate. And I like that because there's no pressure. It's not like I'm being bossy and telling them what to do. They can come by whenever they want. If there's a game they're liking or whatever, they can come moderate. But what I've noticed is that they're not coming by to the late night streams, and they're definitely not coming by to the late night multiplayer streams. Now, all I can do is ask nicely. Hey guys, can you come by and moderate a little more? I can't force anyone to do anything. They're not paid employees, right? So what I can do is I can appeal and say to people, hey, would you like to be moderators? But how do you trust someone? When I've had so many people who have pretended to be nice, pretended to be supportive, and then after the fact you find out after a fucking year that they're faking, That it's a whole catfish situation. For what? Because let's be honest here. Out of all that stuff that's ever happened, what, 4 times now? How much has actually ever happened? Nothing. Nothing ever comes of it. It's just a waste of everyone's time. Nothing super clandestine secret has ever been revealed. No giant bombshells were ever dropped. They're just fucking losers. They actually sit around for a year, wasting a year of their life doing this. Wow, really, it's been really productive and much has come out of it, right? Like nothing. Nothing ever happened. But it's frustrating because you don't know who you can trust, right? By the way, now I got to close the blinds because now the sun's coming out. I just can't win today. Whether it's landscapers or the sun, they're all against me. The world's conspired against me today, right? Anyway, so that's the thing. Like, that solution number 1 to the problem would be try to find more trustworthy moderators, try to mod them, and see if they're going to join me, right? Will they actually come and support and be real people to moderate, or are they going to be some secret troll who's actually just here to fuck around and then they're not going to help at all, right? I don't know, you know, it's hard. It's hard to figure out who do you trust. That's number 1, okay? Number 2, the other option would be that I play multiplayer games on day streams instead. So if I'm going to play Street Fighter 6, it's actually a daytime stream. If I'm going to play a Modern Warfare 3 beta, it's a daytime stream. And then the night streams are reserved for the more chill, narrative-based games, because then I can pay attention more to the chats. But if that's the case, you understand what's going to happen. That means that I make way less progress in the narrative-based games. So, upcoming, just a case in point, upcoming, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Spider-Man 2. Those are games I'm going to make way less progress in because I'm playing them on night streams rather than daytime streams, you know? Say Alan Wake 2. So do I play those only as night streams? You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't get, and that's what I don't understand. I need guidance. I need feedback. I want everyone's suggestions here, right? I want to know, what do you guys think? Should I actively seek to get more moderators? Is that not a good idea? Should it be that I switch the streams? Or is that not a good idea? What should I seek to do is the question, right? See, now here you go. Dabhand says, well, as a UK viewer, I don't want to miss story-based games. If they're at night, 3 a.m. my time, I'll miss them. You're right. You're right. That's why I do it like that. That is actually why I told you guys as we moved into the busy gaming season, multiplayer games would be night streams and everything else would be daytime streams. That's exactly right. So, what do I do? Now, just so you guys know, I reached out to my moderation team this morning. I have not yet checked back with them to see if anyone has responded. I actively asked them all, would anyone be willing to step up and actually help moderate on the late night multiplayer streams? Because these have now been targeted and people are giving me, even longtime viewers and fans are contacting me and saying, yeah, don't even want to check these out anymore because they're too toxic from these idiots. You understand? So I guess the question is, does someone there say, yes, I can help? Or if the answer is no, none of them can help, then do I look for more mods or do I take more drastic measures and swap streams? I don't know. But this is something we need to talk about now. All right? It is. It's something we actually need to actively talk about and investigate and do something about, because I don't want multiplayer games to now have to be removed entirely from my schedule. You know how messed up that would be? Especially with, there's good games coming out that I want to play. I was genuinely surprised at how much fun I had playing Modern Warfare 3 the other night. I'm going to play it again on Saturday night and test it again on the Xbox. And I'm very interested to see if it goes well and if I want to buy it. I was thinking I was going to skip it this year, but I had so much fun, I might actually end up getting it. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. Let's play it again this weekend and see, right? But yeah, if it's going to be toxic every time I play it, then maybe I don't get it. I don't know. You guys, again, that's why I want your feedback. So please, leave comments on this video. Let me know what you think in chat. Email me. However you want to reach me. I'm open. There's many ways you can contact me. That's why it's hilarious when people say, oh, I can't contact Phil. What are you, insane? There's a million ways you can contact me. If you actually want to contact me on something important, it's not hard to reach me. I'm an easy to find guy. Okay? So please give me that feedback. And let's figure this out. Let's not make a drastic action soon, right? Let's talk about it a little bit. Maybe over the next couple of podcasts. Please continue to send me your feedback. We'll talk about that feedback that I receive over the next few shows. Try to determine what the best course of action here is. Maybe it's one way, the other way, or maybe it's a hybrid. I don't know. But I don't want to see multiplayer go away. I don't. at the same time, like the way the streams are now are a direct result of your feedback. People had told me, you know, back when I was on Twitch particularly, I had over moderation. There was too many moderators. They were constantly moderating. People were very upset at that, and they liked the fact that I was becoming more lax with moderation. So for the last 2-3 years, I've become way more lax with moderation, and now look what happens. Now I'm getting direct complaints. There's not enough moderation. It's like you can't win, right? It's like either way, I'm a loser. I lose no matter what. Too much, not enough. Where's the happy balance there, right? So anyway, by the way, it's funny because I also hear like other people, like people always talk about LTG, and apparently LTG has like one of the biggest lockdown chats in history over there. Like he'll just go crazy apparently with moderation and constantly moderate everyone. It's like, damn. So I probably have one of the more lax streams for people who gets trolled. And then it's funny too, because I will address this too. This is a good time to address it. Every once in a while, I get a newcomer who comes to my streams, and I ask for feedback, and they're like, well, my basic feedback is this. Why on earth do you have sub-only mode? What are you, crazy? If a newcomer comes to your stream, they want to talk right away, and they have to wait 24 hours to talk on your stream. That turns off tons of people, and they leave and never come back. And then I just have to respond. You really were not here during that time period when I jumped from Twitch to YouTube to see that month when I didn't have sub-only mode. Because if you were here and you saw how insane it was wildly insane. Trolls coming in by the droves on cloned accounts that was like bot 1, bot 2, bot 3, all spamming racist, sexist, toxic, insulting, doxing, all in the chat constantly. And there was no way to stop it. It was non-stop spam. It wasn't until sub-only mode that we were able to shut that shit down. And by the way, at first, it wasn't 24-hour sub-only mode. It was like 1 hour. And it continued because these losers sat there creating 20, 30, 40 accounts per hour just to spam the chat. At least when it's once a day, they realize they're only going to get one chance a day to troll. And once it's done, they got to wait another 24 hours, and they're impatient, and they don't want to wait, so they don't bother with it. You see? I'm not saying that it stops all trolling. It certainly does not. But the 24-hour sub mode very, very much deters people from being active trolls, okay? If we turned that off, the floodgates would open, and no one would... You think the night streams are bad now. If I turned off the sub-only mode or made it more lax, no way. The stream would be unmanageable, completely unmanageable, and no one would have a good time, you know? So there's no way that I want to do that. I think that would be like shooting myself in the foot real bad to do something like that. But that's the thing. A lot of people don't know that. You understand? A lot of people don't understand that. They think that I'm like other streamers. I'm not. I get so many trolls. The thing is, you don't really... I do, for the most part, have a pretty ordered chat. Take a look. There's been no problems whatsoever this morning with the chat. Why? Because I'm here with you and I'm looking at it constantly. No one's going to do shit, right? It's only when I look away when I'm in the middle of a game that then they take that shot, right? So I have one of the better chats from someone who's as harassed and trolled as I am. It's not that bad at all. But people don't understand that. They actually don't get it. That's the level. Again, come to one of these night streams and see what these idiots are trying to do, and then you'll understand where I'm coming from with this and where everyone's coming from with this. I mean, people are telling me they don't want to attend night streams anymore because of trolling. That's horrible. I don't want... If you're not going to attend a night stream, tell me you don't want to come and support a night stream because you don't like the content. I'm not entertaining. The stream is not fun. It's a wrong game. That's one thing. If I want to fail, I want to fail because of me and my content. I don't want to fail because of outside influences like fucking trolls. That's terrible. That's a horrible reason to fail. And I don't want to have multiple streams now where people are telling me we're not going to come and support anymore and we're not going to come watch in a positive way because there's too many trolls. That's fucked up, you know? So we got to fix this one way or another. We have to, all right? So let's work on it together. And the only way we're going to figure that out is feedback. So let me know. Let's brainstorm a bit. What do you guys think? If the answer is to put daytime streams as multiplayer streams, that's great, but how do I do that without putting all the narrative-based games at night and now people miss out because they can't be there at night, right? If the solution is to add more moderators, if the solution is to add more moderators, then how on earth do I find people who are dependable moderators? because I've looked, and sometimes you get these people who literally act nice for a year and pretend to be a whole person they're not. They've invented a fucking persona that doesn't exist. Like I said, there were 2 people outright who pretended to be women for a whole year. They had people who befriended them and thought that they were real people, and it was all fake. It was some loser behind a computer with a fake catfished persona fooling people. They made up entire stories about their personal lives and everything, and everyone bought into it. And then come to find out, they're all fakers, and they were literally here all along just to sit here and try to get inside information on my stuff, and then try to basically troll and get me banned and do fucked up stuff. And none of it ever came to anything, but it's pretty pathetic to think about that this is what these fucking losers are doing, right? So how do you figure this out? I'm all ears. My ears are open. The lines have been freed. Speak to me and let me know what you think. All right? I would love your feedback on this. It's just funny because every time that I try to tell people about this stuff, they don't believe me. It's documented that it happened. You're like, no, that's an exaggeration. People don't harass you that much. They wouldn't go out of their way that much to do it. Yeah, twice. Not once, twice. Entirely catfished, invented persona. And it's like, so what do you do, right? What do you do to solve the problem? I don't know. Now, here's the funny part. Pikachu Hat says, trolls probably account for 70% of your common viewer base, like on a stream. Ignore them. Don't give them clout. No, let them give you clout. But that's the problem. There's one thing if they're just here viewing. It's another thing if they're ruining the stream. And I'm getting feedback from my longtime viewers and supporters telling me these particular night multiplayer streams are ruined by them. I can't just ignore that. It's a difference between ignoring their nonsense and ignoring the fact that they're ruining particular content that I'm putting out. All right? The funny part is, if you're actually watching the on-demand videos, you're probably not aware of any of those, right? You're probably not aware of any of it at all, right? Because you don't see it. You don't see the trolling in the chat or whatever. But you might wonder, like, wait a minute. Phil just put out an entertaining Modern Warfare 3 stream. I wonder why no one supported. This is why. I'm being actively told by longtime viewers this is why. I trust them. Sorry, I trust someone who's been watching me for years, supporting me for years, being honest with me. I believe those people, you know? Okay. Anyway, feedback, please, because that's the only way things will improve is for you to actively tell me your honest opinions on this situation and for us to try to figure it out together, all right? So please do. Please let me know the feedback. I'm all ears. And like I said, this is not going to be a quick fix. There's no way we could quick fix this. You understand? But maybe within a few streams, we can start to brainstorm ideas, whether it is switching the schedule around, whether it is getting more mods, whether it's a combination of both. I don't know. But we need to talk about it and stop ignoring it. Because I refuse to have my content ruined by outside forces like that. Again, if I'm going to fail, tell me I'm failing because of me.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.